So this charming fellow tagged me in a post the other day. His name is Thomas Menard, and his post said, "Look, I don't care if you're bashing other religious faiths. If you're going to be doing that, you need to have legitimate proof of the resources you're using to back up your claims. It can't be anti-literature. You're making yourself look like a complete fool. And you're proud of that? Wow. Oh, what a foolish way to live." So I'm caught up with this idea that you seem to have, that legitimate proof cannot come from anti-literature. I'm going to assume that you haven't done a lot of research on the church's history or the church's doctrines. So I'm going to take a minute and share some of the things that at least I thought were anti-Mormon lies that were later confirmed by the church itself. I was told that Joseph Smith translating the Book of Mormon through a rock and a hat was an absolute lie. I was told that Joseph Smith only used those giant glasses that he found buried with the plates. And yet the church can no longer deny that Joseph Smith used a stone in a hat. The prophet even demonstrated how it worked.
Joseph used these the Urim and Thummim seer stones in the hat, and it was easier for him to see the light when he'd take that position.
I was told that Joseph Smith only participated in polygamy to marry widows who could not take care of themselves. Turns out, Joseph Smith was also marrying children and women who were already married. And you can easily find those on the church's website. I was also told that Joseph Smith never had sexual relationships with his polygamous wives. The church now admits that he did. Maybe not with all 35 of his wives, but evidence exists that he could have had sexual relationships with at least 10 of them. Also, the church shared that polygamy doesn't actually bring more children into the world or into the church. So what the heck was God even thinking when he commanded it? The purpose of polygamy, according to the Book of Mormon, was to have more seed. And studies show that that's simply not the case. Additionally, have you heard of the blood atonement? I didn't even know what that was until after I left the church. It's when you commit a sin so bad that Christ's blood isn't enough to atone for it. And so you have to shed your own blood. This idea or doctrine is confirmed today on the church's website. And what about the Book of Abraham? I was told as a missionary that Joseph Smith lied about translating the Book of Abraham. I was stunned and felt certain that this was an anti-Mormon lie. Turns out, no, that's accurate, and the church says it on their website. The church has and continues to use what you call anti-Mormon literature as legitimate sources for its history and its truth claims. The church has quoted from Todd Compton's In Sacred Loneliness, which shows how Joseph Smith lived polygamy in detail. The church quotes from Mormon Enigma by Newell and Avery. The church even quotes the 5 volumes of early Mormon documents from Dan Vogel. And the church even quotes from E.D. Howe's Mormonism Unveiled to back up the legitimacy of Doctrine and Covenants section 25. To dismiss information that you don't like as anti-literature is wrong. History should be studied. All of it should be on the table. And while it is true that not every historical claim will be supported, like John C. Bennett's wild ideas of the Saints of the Black Veil, which do not appear anywhere outside of his book, there are so many historical things that are supported. I would say that to let any organization that you are a part of dictate what you can and cannot read, and that you should only consume the literature that supports their claims, is problematic.